People always have something to say, no matter what. Claressa is making sure that everyone is aware of her position in the world of celebrities. She has moved into the middle of things and is ready for whatever comes next, rather than staying quiet and watching from the sidelines. You are already aware that Remy and Papoose romance is failing if you have been keeping up with this issue. People used to look up to them as a couple, but now things are becoming worse. Owing to reports that Remy had cheated, Claressa Shields is taking things seriously, and her relationship with Papoose is getting increasingly shaky. Just as it seemed like he was ready to move on, Papoose, who had always been a devoted husband, made it plain that he would no longer tolerate games. She had something to say and started saying things that showed how unhappy she was with Papoose's new life. Life initially gave the impression that she didn't care, but it was clear that she was unhappy. She overheard her making playful remarks about Papoose, such as, "Who cooks better, me or Papoose? He cannot cook anything." Instead of keeping quiet, she answered. Supporters took sides, with some arguing that Papoose was moving on too soon and others claiming Remy was the one who caused this issue. As the story comes to a close, it is clear that Claressa is not frightened of Remy and will not put up with her harsh behavior. For years, people thought Papoose and Remy were the perfect couple, the kind of love that lasts forever. When they first discovered that Remy might not have been faithful, they didn't give up. They remembered Papoose's assistance during her 6 years in prison, including his marriage to her while she was still incarcerated and his care of their family. Her 6 years, but most individuals wouldn't wait 6 months. What does he receive in exchange? Failure to wish him a happy Father's Day was the first significant indication that anything was amiss. Didn't even take 5 seconds to wish him a happy Father's Day, although he had reared their daughter, supported her, and always shown his devotion. Papoose posted a family photo on Instagram without Remy to inform everyone that their lovely marriage was ending. I didn't say much instead of waiting for Remy to explain, but his deeds were more powerful than words. Swords, everyone knows now. Many people believe Remy believed Papoose would always be there and took him for granted. She is playing the victim now that he is at last moving on. Sapan, heirs of Papoose are defending him, claiming that he deserves more, and criticizing Remy for losing a man who was consistently devoted to her. Whether they started disclosing private messages between Papoose and Claressa rather than keeping them confidential, the situation became even more chaotic, making him appear awful. She thought this would make her look resentful. He's the one who was married. If you cannot even sleep on the phone with me, or please let me know you make it home safely, then what are we doing? Claressa told Papoose in one of the leaked messages. Remy assumed this would make Papoose look bad, but it actually made her look desperate. To give the impression that Papoose was associated with Claressa while they were still together, she tried to change the facts. After a sleep at Claressa's place, Remy said she was on the phone with her when she found the text. The text .ion, however, grew much more startling at this point. And not keep quiet after realizing what Remy was attempting to accomplish. Instead, she accused Remy of cheating first, not once, but several times. 10 times. As the one who was acting dishonestly the entire time, she made it apparent that Remy shouldn't pretend to be the victim. Precisely what people anticipated from Remy, and instead of taking responsibility for her errors, she is trying to make Papoose the villain. Avelaine spoke up. Papoose, who is typically a private person who dislikes posting about his troubles online, made the decision to correct the record. He recorded Remy was unwilling to accept his long-standing request for a divorce. As unable to remain silent this time, Remy may have just made matters worse for herself, and as a result, the internet is now attentively monitoring the situation. Have believed she was exposing Papoose, but she refused to back down, giving the impression that Remy has chosen a losing battle after months of silence. Sicilance.c is now making everything public. Many are curious about the true nature of his relationship with Remy. It is Remy that he has had enough now that he is expressing the truth. The truth. Declared that he is done with Remy and has been attempting to file for divorce, but she refuses to sign the necessary documents. Therefore curious as to why Remy won't let him leave. On in leave, Papoose even claimed that Remy is a narcissist who has repeatedly cheated on him. She's the victim now that he's moved on. She won't act like an adult in this situation. My situation reason I didn't want to go public, but I've had enough. Everything I've get with just one message. It's a message that Remy had been behaving as if Papoose had suddenly abandoned her. But in reality, Papoose had made it apparent that he was attempting to formally end their relationship, and Remy was the one who put an end to it. Rumors circulated last year that she was becoming too close to battle rapper Easy the Block Captain, so this isn't even new. She and Isha knew, ushed it off as unimportant, but the more people investigated it, the more obvious it became. Now it has become, since if Papoose knew what was going on and was already trying to seek a divorce, he has divorced. Been polite and respectful, never sought attention online, and stayed mute even when the rumors about Remy started. This is what really pulled people onto him. It's clear to him he no longer wants anything to do with her now that he's speaking up. Given how Papoose invested in this relationship and how he helped Remy through everything, particularly while she was in jail, many fans feel sad for him. He battled him, a release, supported her profession, cared for their daughter, and stayed faithful. Papoose faithful. Papoose is even more startling given how secretive he is. It must have his and so severe that he felt compelled to speak up. He'd attempted up. Noodle matters discreetly, as seen by his note, but Remy persisted in his games. People are upset because they witnessed him in an instance where she was attempting to harm his reputation. Her reputation discusses honesty and loyalty in relationships, but it appears that she has since abandoned her own counsel. Although been regarded as an honest individual, Remy hasn't really responded to any of this or made a clear statement disputing Papoose's claims. Rather, claims acting as if she was harmed, which is making things worse for her because she isn't offering any proof to back up her allegations. Her allegations. Lighted up by now if she had any concrete evidence that Papoose was lying, but instead she is trying to shift the conversation and avoid the topic. People aren't topic. Get into it, which is the issue. People find issue peopling by her, and the longer she puts this up, the worse it appears to be for her. Papoose made errant that he wanted to keep things quiet for the sake of his daughter, who is caught in the middle, but Remy persisted in making matters worse. This suggests worse. Papoose was considering their family and making an effort to be considerate. He most likely hoped they could resolve their differences in private, but he was forced to speak out because she would not cooperate. This may help. Avoided if Remy had just acted like an adult instead of attempting to play the victim, especially now that all of their private problems are in the spotlight and their daughter will eventually see it all. People are Papoose's current partner and his choice to move on, but that is not the main problem. The true problem, is why Remy is trying so hard to keep a relationship going with someone she says isn't healthy for her. Why does she her? Sign the divorce papers if she truly believes Papoose is the villain. Many people are confused. Some believe confusion is not struggling to accept the consequences of her own actions while she is. Looking back, he's looking unequivocally that he is finished with the relationship and prepared to move on. Many believe that has been too patient and is now only thinking about himself, while his supporters believe that he deserves better. People are cheering him on, leaving supportive comments on his social media pages. Some have even dubbed this his freedom era, claiming that he can now live his life without being bound by a poisonous relationship. Remy's relationship, quickly changing. She was once commended for her strength and confidence, but now a lot of people are criticizing her for not taking responsibility, believing that the incident shows that she betrayed Papoose rather than respecting his loyalty and assuming there would be no consequences. She is consequences, the harm now that the truth is out, But the internet never forgets, and her earlier claims of allegiance are backfiring. Some of the backfiring continue to defend her, but their justifications are flimsy and devoid of hard data. The situation worsens the more she avoids talking about it directly. The best couple directly. For her at this point would be to take responsibility and move on, but the way things are going, it seems like Papoose has made it apparent that he does not want to make amends, thus the divorcements at this bull, until the inevitable. Details will be watched and discussed on the internet. The entire internet lesson that the truth always surfaces regardless of how hard someone tries to hide it. Even Papoose, who is it? Ed's scandal and kept his private life off social media for years, could not stay silent indefinitely. It's a sin. Definitelys have gotten truly serious when someone like him, who has always kept to himself, finally speaks up. He is now prepared for his life as he is no longer defending Remy's reputation. Clearly, her reputation, believing that things would ever get back to normal, as well as waiting and hoping. Remy is hooping. By this, and for the first time, she is starting to fear and come to terms with the fact that Papoose is permanently gone. Now that they are gone, of his side, many people have a different perspective on Remy. She failed against Remy. Her attempt to harm Papoose's reputation has only made herself look worse. She now has to get worse. Repercussions of her own behavior. People are behavior-ing whether Papoose and Remy love. The story, once thought to be among the strongest in hip-hop, is truly over after they battled through loyalty and betrayal. Despite the fact of betrayal, Oz has clearly moved on. Remy doesn't seem to be ready to let go. This is because Papoose has already made up his mind, and Remy does not want mine. Deal with the fallout from her actions. There is no one actions. See, he makes up his mind. The drama is in Cremine. The fact that this time, however, things are different and he is not different. Easy the Block Catback, battle rapper who has been connected to Remy, finally made his voice heard. His remarks further heard undead matters. The whispers, matters, little hints all pointed to the same conclusion. There was more to his relationship with Remy than business, as others have been speculating for months. Easy now asserts months. Say was suspicious and had started to piece things together long before the internet even started talking about it, so he was aware of it the entire time and wasn't caught off guard. Then, to everyone's guard, say, Easy revealed that Papoose had been secretly listening in on Remy's discussions in order to confirm his suspicions. Then came the suspicions. Easy claims that surprise. Easy observing Remy for several months. He was doing his own month's dodge and making sure he had reliable evidence before acting, rather than merely listening to hearsay from others. He even installed others. He device in Remy's vehicle so he could secretly listen in on her private discussions. Reactions expo discussions. Turnet as expected. This was no longer expected difficult split. It was now about trust, treachery, and how far someone would go to get the truth. Papoose received truth. Some for his intelligence and for waiting for evidence before leveling any charges, while others believed that saving others on his wife and recording her chats was excessive. They suggested that instead of secretly gathering information, he shouldn't have just departed if he was that suspicious. Many, however, noted that there would have been skepticism and people would have questioned his motives if he had departed without evidence. He has now unquestioned evidence. His unquestionably has, so he was free to proceed without hesitation. Everyone is now hesitation. What will happen next? Would Remy keep trying to will a relationship that is already broken, or will she finally realize that it is over? But one thing is certain, the moose isn't going back. Easy went on to provide back. Easymation demonstrating that he had known something was wrong long before it was made public. He asserted that off-public Oos never faced him head-on. His actions started to shift. He initially assumed it was simply ordinary business drama. Rappers are known for their disputes and misunderstandings. But when he took a step back, he saw that Papoose had been watching him intently, waiting for the ideal moment to catch Remy in the act. He was deeply affected back. insight because it was something far more profound than a straightforward disagreement or miscommunication. Everything miscommunications revealed that Papoose had been putting gadgets in Remy's car and recording her talks. Remy might have been talking with both sides for a lot longer than anyone had assumed if he had gone that far, which would indicate that he had been suspicious for a while. How long this had been real for a while going on was now the key question. Has Remy been betrayed for years, or was this something new? Opinions among fans very new. Said Papoose was right to defend himself in the entertainment business, where reputation is everything, as it could be highly harmful to gather proof of his behavior. Remy had depended behavior Rem for years. He had always stood by years, protected her, and sacrificed for her in order to maintain their bond. Others, on the other hand, bond. That spying on his wife, regardless of her actions, was excessive. They maintained that excess. The hemp is already finished if trust is violated to that degree. Staying together is point degree. You have to listen in on private talks and follow someone around. People's perceptions around also shifted. Now she was perceived as shifted, who had taken that dedication for granted, rather than as a strong, independent woman with a loyal spouse. The internet did not hold spouse, and many started searching for proof that this had been going on all along by looking at old interviews, song lyrics, and historical occasions. Supporters noted those occasions. Roos's constant claims of loyalty to Remy, including throughout her incarceration, she was unable to maintain her loyalty. People started to question loyalty people captain's role in all of this as the situation progressed. Or was he more involved progressed as acknowledging? Or was he just caught in the middle? There were questions about middle was adding to the already volatile situation when he finally spoke out. Since he was now associated out one of the largest controversies in hip-hop, some believe he was doing it to gain publicity, while others said he was doing it to clear his name and prove he was not the one who began everything. In his perspective, everything already gone on, and Remy was the only one who was still attached to him, but she didn't seem to be able to understand that it was truly over. Maybe she thought was truly over transcend the treachery, or maybe she didn't realize how much she had hurt him. However, it was clear that he had already made up his mind, and once he does, it's impossible to change it. Fans are divided over this Pan's story of loyalty, betrayal, and heartbreak involving Papoose, Remy Ma, and Claressa Shields. If you've been following it, you know it's more than just a breakup. While Remy Ma must deal with the fallout from her actions, Papoose, who was once hailed as the model of a faithful spouse, is currently enduring the agonizing end of a relationship he devoted years to, and the drama has only horsed since Claressa took center stage. However, which side is the stage? However, years of silence, do you believe Papoose was correct to reveal the truth and speak up? Or do you think Remy Ma still merits an opportunity to present her case? What about Claressa? Did Case the right to confront the dishonesty and stand her ground? Everything is present in ground. Everything treachery, and the tumultuous fallout from a public split. One thing is certain: as split formation becomes available, the drama is captivating to fans. Don't miss the most recent fans Odon. If you share our passion for this story, please enjoy this video, his story subscribe button, and leave a comment below with your opinions. Do you believe that the opinions between Papoose and Remy Ma are really over? Or is reconciliation still over? Keep checking back for more juicy updates, behind-the-scenes information, and all the drama directly from the most talked about love triangle in hip-hop.